So the question is about disabled people. Why are disabled people disabled? And whether there is any way to get free from that. Okay? So disabled people in Buddhism, and not just disabled physically, but also mentally. In Buddhism, there is distinction of human beings into three according to the result of their previous actions. So in Pali, it's known as ahetuka, dvihetuka, and tihetuka. Ahetuka, here hetuka means rooted or possessor of roots. So a means none, no root, possessor of no root. Dvihetuka is possessor of two roots. Tihetuka is possessor of three roots. So here root is non-greed, non-hatred, and non-ignorance. So if somebody is too angry, and kills beings, and steal, that would be for greed. If somebody is too angry, or if somebody is too greedy, so they steal, or they commit adultery, or they tell lies, and so on, then that would result in loss of a root in the next life. So this way we have rootless, two-rooted, and three-rooted. So rootless means that they have neither non-greed, neither non-hatred, neither non-ignorance. You could translate it into generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom, but it's not that simple. It's more about the absence of the defilement rather than about the presence of the good qualities. Okay? So if somebody doesn't kill, doesn't steal, doesn't commit adultery, doesn't tell lies, doesn't drink alcohol, but also is not generous, not loving, kind, and not wise, still they may be born as a human and full-fledged, happy, healthy human. So it's more about absence of the defilements rather than presence of the good qualities. So if somebody did not if somebody did not train themselves in non-greed, non-hatred, non-ignorance, then in the next life they may be born in hell. So let's say if they kill, or if they harm somebody, or if they deceive people, and so on, they may be born in hell. So there is no talk about root, that's suffering by itself. Or they may be born as a human. And so if they have neither greed, if they have neither non-greed, nor non-hatred, nor non-ignorance, then that would be, they would be non-rooted. And when they are non-rooted, then that is exhibited, that is shown by the fact that they are handicapped, that they are disabled. Or they had non-greed, but they would have hatred and ignorance. So you could say this is one-rooted. It's slightly complicated, but still let's call it two-rooted because that's the way the scriptures present it. So if they had just loving kindness, but they didn't have this, non-hatred and non-ignorance, then unfortunately they also may go to hell. They may be born in hell for a temporary period. In Buddhism, all hell is temporary. There is never permanent hell for anybody without any exception. All hell, all birth is impermanent in every kind of world or life or situation. So they may be born in hell, but if they are not born in hell, or after they get free from hell, they may be born in a human life, and again they would be disabled if they are the so-called two-rooted. Or they could be full-fledged, healthy, happy human, but they would not be able to attain enlightenment. Only the three-rooted beings are able to attain enlightenment, because to attain enlightenment you need to have sufficient merits from your past lives. So If the merits are not sufficient, then not this life, but it's still possible to train and to get as far as possible this life, so that next life the person will have sufficient merits and can become fully enlightened. So this would be for the first question: how does somebody become disabled? Now the second part of the question is whether they can get rid of it. So there comes the teaching on the lump of salt from Samyutta Nikaya, Lo Nakapallaka Sutta. And there the Buddha asks monks, if somebody puts a little ball of salt or a lump of salt into a glass of water, will the water become salty because of that lump of salt? And the monks say, yes, Venerable Sir. And why? Because there is a little bit of water, so the water will become salty. And then the Buddha says, well then, if somebody throws that lump of salt, that same lump of salt, into the river Ganges, will the river Ganges become salty because of that one lump of salt? And the monks say, Venerable Sir, the Ganges will not become salty because of the lump of salt, because there is so much of water. And the Buddha says, in the same way, if somebody commits a little bad deed, but doesn't develop themselves in generosity, ethics, meditation and wisdom, then they may suffer just because of that one small bad deed for a long time in hell. But if somebody commits that same small deed, but they also develop themselves in they also develop themselves very much in generosity, morality, meditation and wisdom, then they may suffer a little bit of consequences for that little bad deed, and no consequences at all in their next life. So now you could say, well, then why wouldn't I just kill people and steal things, and then before I die I will just give everything what I have to monks or something like this? And the problem is double. Number one, you don't know when you die. There are so many cases of accident death, of unexpected death. So it's not possible to count on the chance that you will have an opportunity to do good things. And moreover, the Buddha speaks about a small deed, not about a big deed. So of course the Asians, the tradition of course has totally twisted it, around and said, okay, well, you want to kill them, okay, so kill and then do just good deeds. So that of course is totally wrong. And it's also wrong because of the second problem, and that is that sometimes it doesn't mix like milk with water, but sometimes it doesn't mix like oil with water. So sometimes the deeds mix like milk with water, and sometimes they do not mix like oil with water. And you never know what will be your case. So there was this case, of a judge in the Buddha's time. And this judge, he accepted bribes. And he judged in favor of those who gave him money and against those who didn't give him money. But one day he decided to follow the 8 precepts. So during that day, he didn't eat afternoon. He avoided all killing, stealing, all sexual activity, all telling lies, alcohol. He didn't eat afternoon. He didn't enjoy in any entertainment, dancing, singing, playing musical instruments, or adorning his body by jewels, ointments, garlands, and so on. And he also didn't use any luxurious furniture. And also, he saw a girl doing some work, and it was clear that this girl will not make it home before noon. And the girl also followed these 8 rules. So if she comes home after noon, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any change, because she won't be able to eat anything, because she followed the rule that she won't eat between the noon and the dawn of the next day. And the judge saw her working before noon in the morning. And he saw that he found out that she's going to forsake her lunch, her meal, in order that she can follow this rule, because she would have to eat in the afternoon. There was no other opportunity. So she would just not eat anything. So he had, a mango? I don't know, mango or an apple? Mango is more common in the scriptures. So he gave her the fruit, and that was his merit, a merit of donation. So as a result of the bad deed and the good deed, now you could say, well, okay, so he did bad deed, he did good deed, so certainly it must be mixed. But in his case, it was not mixed, like oil with water. Now this mixing styles is my way of explaining. The scriptures do not speak about mixing milk with water or oil with water to explain Kamma, but I believe that this is a nice way to understand it. Now in his case, he was born as a god with young, lovely ladies, and a big mansion, and a beautiful body with a lot of jewelry, on account of his following 8 precepts for that one day. But this lasted only a day. And then, as the night came, he started to mutate into an ogre. All of the ladies and palace, all of them disappeared, and he found himself in the world of ghosts. And he became bigger and bigger, and his nails grew bigger and bigger, all the way that they looked like shovels. And then he knew that now he needs to eat the flesh of his back. So he would stab himself from behind by his nails and remove pieces of his flesh and then eat them. And that was the punishment for accepting the bribes. This, of course, doesn't mean that Burmese judges do not accept bribes. Quite the opposite. So, here you can see it didn't mix. And unfortunately, it's not as famous in the Buddhist countries. It should be more famous, because bribes is a huge problem. It basically creates the lifestyle of the Burmese people. It is entirely proliferated in all layers of the Burmese community. So this is a very important story, and Burmese people should know it. So this way you can see that for disabled person, if they want to become good, if they want to become healthy, powerful, happy, wealthy, successful, satisfied person, then this is the way to do it. Stop all bad deeds, regardless whether they did them or whether they may do them. Just cut off all intentions to do any killing, stealing, adultery, lies, or alcohol, and dedicate whole their life to merits only. Then it is possible that their merit mix as milk with water, and whatever is the consequence of their bad deed that they would have to experience more in their next lives, it would be much, much less, and they would be able to partake of the fruits of their good deeds. And it's also useful for everybody else, so that nobody is committing any bad deeds. No bad deed is a wise resolution. Only good deeds need to be there. We need to consider the fact that we might have committed a lot of bad deeds in our past lives, which haven't brought about their fruit yet. So, being totally scared of that what we may have done in our past lives, we must dedicate every moment, every second of our life to only meritorious thoughts, to only good deeds, helping others, and just destroying this idea that I am right, or I will do this correct, or this person is wrong. No, just destroy it. Love, that's all, like love each other, and support everybody in their happiness, in their possessions, whatever they have. They have a new boyfriend, it's your boyfriend, nobody cares, okay, enjoy him. They have a new girlfriend, it's your girlfriend, no problem, enjoy her, They have a new car, it was your car, no problem, enjoy it, They have a degree, and you cannot have degree because they have a degree. Okay, enjoy it, They have success, you cannot have success because they have success. Okay, enjoy it, like who cares? Anyway, this might be the consequence of your previous action. So if you continue, in doing bad deeds, in angry thoughts, in jealous thoughts, that will just create more problems for you, and you may not have enough water, to reduce the saltiness.